So we said there are 3 keys to a breakthrough. What's the first one most people look for when they're trying to break through? They're looking for the right strategy. I just told you some good examples of strategy. Strategy for growing a business. Strategy for building your identity. What should you do? I'm out of time pretty soon, or I'll have you do it. Tonight, tomorrow, you should sit down and write a page. Why should I buy from you versus anyone else? Why should I come to work with you versus anyone else? If I come along to you right now and I walk up to you and I say, what's your name, sir? Keith Harley. It's Keith Harley, ladies and gentlemen. Watch. Keith, why should I do business with you versus anyone else?
Because I'm the best at what I do.
Okay. How many are sold by that presentation? Raise your hand. Okay. 16,000 people, 3 people voted yes. I think you're screwed. So that's not nice, but it's quality feedback from the marketplace. See, everybody says I'm the best at what I do. Why should I do business with you versus anyone else?
Because I'm passionate about my business. Okay. And I want to attract people to my business.
Okay. Now I want you to notice, he's telling me why I should do business with him by telling me about him. There's nothing wrong with that. But how many of you were convinced by it? Raise your hand.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh. Let's try it again.
Yes, sir.
Why should I do business with you versus anyone else?
Because my brand, my business,
So
my
let me help
nerves
you.
have taken over.
Let me help you. The first thing you want to change your focus to is what you're going to do for
them. Yes.
No one gives a shit about you. I'm sorry. They don't care about you. You care about you. What will change your brand in a heartbeat is when you begin to realize your brand has nothing to do with you. Not nothing. Your caring, your commitment, your passion are all valuable things. But you got to be able to tell me what I'm going to get by being in business with you, not what you are. The brand is what they're getting. The brand is not your ego or your identity. So as a strategy, what I encourage all of you to do is sit down and really take the time to write out and scribble and change it. Why should somebody buy from you versus someone else? What will you do more for them than anybody else in your industry? And if you're having a hard time answering that question right now, that's a good thing. Because that means you're going to have to dig. But you can find something. You can find, like, you know what? I'm going to get more personal attention. I do whatever it is. You got to find what it is, and it's got to be real. So the first step is just write down the steps for identity. First, you got to describe who you are, what you're going to give, what you're going to deliver more than anybody else. And you got to refine it. Second step is you got to practice sharing that. So if I had time today, I would have had you write it down and have you get up in groups of people and tell them why they should do business with someone else and then get feedback. And what you want to do is not give people feedback that's phony, like, oh, that was perfect. You want to do like you did for him. You were very kind to him just now, even though it didn't look kind, by nobody raising their hand. Because he will remember that. He will realize, holy shit, if 16,000 people aren't responding and they're in the business, perhaps I need a better, more effective approach. So the first step is write it down. Second step is practice communicating it. The third step is you got to find something to do that demonstrates it, which is what I did with Mike Glickman. Right? He found a way to demonstrate. See, you don't have to wonder who Tony Robbins is by the way my lips move. You can see how my feet have moved for 39 years. Right? I fed 100 million people last year, 50 million myself, and I matched it for Feeding America. I fed another 100 million people this year. I'm going to feed 1 billion people over the next 8 years. Right? The things that I do, I didn't just start doing now. I started when I was doing when I was 17. I walk my talk. My brand is real, I deliver, and so is yours, but you gotta own your brand, and the only way to own it is describe it. You gotta take the time to craft the description, start sharing it verbally and getting feedback, and then you gotta figure out how am I gonna demonstrate it so that it's no bullshit, it's demonstrated by my actions. When those 3 things happen consistently, you build a brand. When you build a brand, you will no longer have to defend network marketing because people will know your brand. See, look at this. Some people say, will you FedEx this for me? The people at UPS hate that shit. Because they're not actually saying FedEx it, it's just FedEx got it in the vocabulary for the category. So when people think about shipping, they think FedEx first. How valuable is that? Or people say, pass me the Kleenex. People at Scott Tissues get pissed off by that. It's not Kleenex, it's tissue, right? You can do that with tons of different items that are brands that when you think about the brand, when you think of the category, you think of the brand. This could change your business more than anything else. But if you remember nothing else I've said, you've got to figure out what will you do more for others than anybody else. And sometimes the more is little stuff. Like some people think I got to do it cheaper. It's just not true. Look at Louis Vuitton purses. How much does a Louis Vuitton purse cost? Who's got one, ladies? Hold up your Louis Vuitton purses. I'm sure in the front row we got plenty of these. There's one. There's one. Great. Let me have your purse. There we go. There we go. Thank you very much. Okay, let's see what's in here. But it's a little mini Louis Vuitton. What did you pay for this purse? About $1,500. Yeah, about $15, $19.95 usually is what they are. And they don't discount this shit, do they? Right? So why did you pick this purse? Because the brand. What did the brand mean to you? Status. So she's really honest and clear. It's status. I got a little $30 purse here. Would you like to trade? No. Because this means, it's a meaning for her. Now, how much does this purse cost to make, do you think? Guarantee less than $25. Less than $25 and they sell it for $1,500 and $1,900. Does anybody like those kinds of margins? Anybody here in this piece? Okay? The reason is people don't buy purses, people don't buy cars, people don't buy products, they buy identities. And you need to understand with your client, what's the identity they're after? So I'll give you really fast, I'm covering a lot of territory, but real fast, jot down, there are 6 human needs. And if you truly want to be great and professional in your business, you should know that you're selling an emotion, you're selling an identity, you're selling a need, not a product. So here's 6 human needs. I'll give it to you really hyper fast. We all have a need for certainty. Now, let me just say this up front. There are 6 human needs. I didn't get these from a book. I did it because I traveled all over the earth, and everywhere I went in the world, I saw the same problems in different countries, regardless of the religious beliefs, regardless of the cultural beliefs. People would have the same problems, and I began to realize we all have different goals, we all have different dreams, but we have the same needs. And when those needs are met, we're euphoric. And when those needs are not met, we have pain and we have upset. So everyone has these 6 needs I'm going to give you in hyperspeed. I'm just going to tell you real quick. I normally take an hour to dig in with you on this. But what's different about people is that we don't value all 6 equally. So of these 6, there's 2 you value the most. Whatever you value the most determines your direction in life. So number 1 need is certainty. Certainty is that you can be comfortable, that you can avoid pain, that you can have some pleasure, that you can have comfort. Basically, being comfortable, having certainty is being comfortable, which is a survival instinct. If you're constantly in pain, there's going to be constant damage. Constant damage equals death. So we all learn to get certain needs met, like comfort and certainty. We also, though, if you're totally certain, let's imagine you could get your certainty where you know what people are going to do, when they're going to do it, how they're going to do it, before they say it. Would that be exciting in the beginning? To know what people are going to do before they do it, what they're going to say before they say it? Yes or no? But after a few weeks or months of knowing what they're going to say, when they're going to say it, how they're going to say it, before they say it, what would you start to feel? Shout it out loud. What would you feel? Bored out of your mind, which is why God, with her intimate wisdom, gave us a second human need. And that second human need is the need for variety. As much as we need certainty, we also need uncertainty. We always say variety is the what of life, the spice of life. So we all need variety and we need certainty. But see, some people value the certainty the most, so they want to hang on to what they got. Some people value variety much more, so they're willing to let go. Raise your hand if you follow. Now, by the way, remember I said of these 6, there's 2 you value the most. They determine your direction in life. So if you're certainty driven, you're heading this way. If you're variety driven, you're heading straight here. Your direction will ultimately determine your ultimate destination. So certainty driven people are going to have a tough time in your business, and they're there. If you understand they're certainty driven, you're going to have to reinforce them 10 times more often, or you're going to lose them. But if you understand it's their biggest need, and you're willing to reinforce them, you can keep those people, and those people are not usually giant producers, but they're consistent producers, and they can create a great base for your business. Somebody who's variety-driven gets all excited, pumped up, and they do things for a while, but very often they don't sustain it because the next thing grabs their attention. They go to the next network marketing company. They go to the next thing because they want variety. Nothing wrong with wanting variety, but if it's number one, it's hard to stay in a business. They're always trying to start another business, another business. None of them are succeeding, but they feel like they're an entrepreneur because they have a bunch of companies that all are not making money, right? Third human need, the need for significance, the need to feel unique, the need to feel special. Who do you think has the need to feel unique, special, or needed, or important? Who has that need, do you think? Who? Who do you think has that need? Every human being does. What about the person that says, I don't want to be unique, I don't want to be special? Thous protest too much. The only difference in people is two things. Which of these 6 needs do they value at the top of their list? If it's at the top of their list and they want to feel unique and special and significant, then the most important thing you can do if you're going to lead that person is to be able to catch them doing things right. The most important thing is to reinforce how they're special, how they're unique without bullshitting. If you make up stuff, people feel it. But if you can look and find unique things in them, if you can wake up, like we said earlier, and see what you're not seeing, and notice what's unique and special in them, you'll own them. They'll stay in your business because you're meeting their highest need. Now, some people get significance by doing significantly good things. Some people get significance by dressing uniquely. Some people get significance by having big problems, bigger problems than anybody else, the more significant. You can meet your needs in positive ways or negative ways, but if you know what you're targeting, if I know that this man is looking for significance, then I'm going to sell this product or service, this opportunity very differently, and I'm going to serve him very differently than if certainty is his number one thing. Raise your hand if you follow. Okay? So what do we have so far? What's the first need? Nice and loud. Tell me. What's the second need? Uncertainty, right. What's the third need? Significance. The fourth need is connection and love. Who needs connection and love? Who? Everyone. Now, everyone, most people settled for connection because love's too scary. They loved once and it went away and it felt so painful, and now they settle for the crumbs of connection. But you can get these needs met all kinds of ways. You can get your needs for connection made by having a great conversation. You can get your needs for connection and love by intimate lovemaking. You can get your needs for connection made by prayer, connecting with God. How many have ever gone into nature for a run or a walk and you felt connected to everything? Knows what I'm talking about, right? If nothing else connects you, get a dog. Don't get a cat. Cats leave. Get a dog. You leave for 3 minutes, you come back, it's like you've been gone for 6 months. They're so excited, right? So connection can be made, love can be made by anybody. So these first 4 needs, certainty, uncertainty or variety, significance, and connection or love, some people get in this business because they want love. They want relationship. They want the connection. And you're busy telling them how much money they're going to make, right? Or you're telling them how significant the business is when really they don't give a damn. Remember I said earlier, to influence another person, you have to know what already influences them. So it's not hard within a few minutes to start noticing what somebody wants. If somebody's like, this pisses me off, I want to become famous, I want to do this and I want to do that, and this person's getting in my way. Which need is driving them? Quick, which one? Nice and loud, which one? Nice and loud, which one? If the person's saying, look, this is so much change so fast, I'm going to slow this thing down, I just want to do it, one step at a time. Who is that? Quick. Certainty. What if somebody says, this is boring as hell, can we mix it up? Right. And if somebody's staring deep into your eyes as you're teaching them how to, prospect, you have a clue it might be connection. Right? How many follow? Okay? And then the first 4 needs, everybody finds a way to meet. Even if you have to work 20-hour days, even if you have to lie to yourself, everyone finds a way to be certain. Everyone finds variety. Everyone finds some significance. Everyone finds some connection. But the final 2 are the spiritual needs. And if you can get people to fulfill these, you will grow an organization that will be dynamic. The 5th one is you must grow. We grow or we what, my friends? You grow or you what? There's no in between. There's no plateaus. In fact, if you want to know what makes people happy, I can give it to you one word: progress. Progress equals happiness. You don't have to make $10 million, but if you're making progress, if you start to lose some weight, if you start to take care of the relationship that wasn't working and you're authentic and you start to improve it, or you start to just make a little bit of improvement in your body or a little bit of improvement in your finances, but it's consistent, you're going to light up like a Christmas tree. Achieving the goal does not give you a high long term. Because the purpose of a goal is not to get it. The purpose of the goal is who you become in pursuit of the goal. What you get won't make you happy. Who you become will make you very happy or very sad. So you got to see growth. And then the last one, number 6, is contribution. We grow so we have something to give. Now, if you understand these needs, you have another way, another strategy for being able to work with somebody. If I know Eric here is a love bug and he's driven by love, and his wife's sitting here nodding her head, yeah, you got him straight, then I know what's going to turn him on in this business is totally different than someone who wants to be the significant one, than someone who's certain. And you want to have all of them in your downline so you're not limiting who you're going to deal with, but you've got to meet their needs individually. If you meet the needs individually, you'll be better than anybody around you. That's what makes you a leader. What makes you a leader is when you can influence anyone, not just the people like you. How many follow here? Say I. So let me wrap up what it takes to create a breakthrough real fast, and then I'm going to give you one final piece and we'll be done. Are you with me still? Make sure the preemp's on either side of you are in a peak state. Make sure they're in a peak state on either side of you. Breakthrough in your body, want a breakthrough in your business, where's the first place we usually go? Strategy. Now I just told you all this good stuff about strategy, and I'm a strategist, but it should not be the first place you go. I'll prove it to you. Remember we're talking about people being overweight? The strategy for being fit and healthy. Is it simple? Is it easy? Is it anything anyone could do? Yes or no? Yes or no? Then why is 70% of the U.S. overweight and unfit? Because even though the strategy's in front of them, they're not applying it because they're missing the second key to a breakthrough, and that is they're missing an empowering story. They have a disempowering story. There's strategy, but then there's story. Whenever people are overweight and they haven't been able to lose, they always have a story. And what is the most common story? I've tried... What will people say? I've tried what? Everything? Really? Tell me all things try. I've tried millions of approaches. Millions. Name them. Well, I've tried thousands. Name them. I'm sure I've tried hundreds. Name them. Well, I did do these 3 stupid things that don't work over and over again. What happens to us is what keeps us, if there's an area right now you're not where you want to be, you have a story that's keeping you from getting there. If you don't have the relationship you want, people's like, all the good ones are gone, or they're gay and I'm not, or I'm gay and they're not, right? People have these stories they tell themselves, right? Mine was, I'm big boned. I used to be 38 pounds heavier than I am now, and my description was I was big boned. I'm still big boned, but I'm 38 pounds lighter, and I've kept it off for 38 years. So it's the whole process of destroying the story that's been stopping you. So here's my question. What story has been stopping you from getting to the next level right now? What's it been for you? What's the next level for you? And what's been holding you back? Give her a hand. Oh, give her a hand for God's sake. Where are you from?
I'm Stella from Brazil.
From Brazil. Give her a hand, ladies and gentlemen.
Just gonna make you sweat.
Story that keeps you going from the next level?
I think pretty much I'm so busy with everything in my home, my businesses and my family, my son. So finding time is very difficult.
How many of you got a story about time and all the things you got to do? Raise your hand. Keep your hand up. Look around the room. How many of you got a story about time? And here's the crazy thing about time. It's the only thing on the planet that's equal. Bill Gates does not get any more hours a day than you do. It's the only thing that's equal. There's nothing else in the world that's equal except time. So what happens is when you say, I have no time, I got too many things going. I got too many responsibilities. When you keep telling that story to yourself, you believe it. And once you believe it, that's all you see. Right? Try something for a moment. Look around this room and find everything in this room that is brown as fast as you can. Find everything that's brown. I'm going to test you. Look behind you. Look around you. There's brown people, brown hair, brown things. Look all around. Find the brown. Find the brown. Okay? Close your eyes. With your eyes closed, tell me everything you saw that's red. If you saw much more brown than red, say I. Open your eyes and look for red now. Look everywhere you can for red. Look for red, look for red, look for red, look for red, look for red. Yes? How many see a lot more red this time? Raise your hand, say I. Why do you see more red this time? Because ask and you shall, seek and you shall. Those rules I didn't make up. Those are in the good book and they're real. In fact, I'll prove it to you. Whatever you look for, you'll find, even if it's not there. I'll prove it to you. How many saw beige shit, called it brown, just so you could feel successful? Let me see your hands. How many saw burgundy, called it red, just so you could score a higher point? Let me see your hands. So what I want you to get is, whatever you look for, that's what you're going to find. So once you tell yourself a story, like for example, have you ever been remember being a kid, and maybe you're having lunch or dinner and you're hungry and you're eating and your mom or dad or somebody says, could you get me the salt? And you're enjoying your meal, so you say, I don't know where the salt is. You're not lying. You don't know the exact GPS coordinate in this moment. And your parents go, you know where it is. It's in the kitchen. Go get it. And you go, I don't know where the salt is. You go, you get it right now. So what do you do in your head? I don't know what the salt is. I don't know what the salt is. I don't know what the damn salt is. You look in the cupboard. It's not here. Your mother or father says it's on the second shelf. You go, I don't know what the salt is. You really look. I don't know what the salt is. I don't know what the salt. It's not here. They walk right beside you. They reach right in front of your face and they go, what is this? Who's had one of these experiences or something like it? Say I. Here's my question. Did your eyes see the salt? Yes, your eyes saw the salt, but your mind wouldn't let you perceive it because you kept telling yourself a story over and over. I don't know what the salt is, I don't know what the salt is, I don't know what the salt is. And you do that enough times, enough intensity, and you convince yourself, and now your brain creates a blind spot. It's called a scotoma. Now you can't even see what's right in front of you. Who's experienced this before, so you know what I'm talking about here? Say I. What you should know about your story is this. The only thing keeping you from getting what you really want, the only thing keeping you from getting what you really want is the story you keep telling yourself about why you haven't achieved it. The only thing keeping you from achieving what you want is the story you keep telling yourself. I'm going to do it later. I'm going to do it soon. I'm not old enough. When I have more money, whatever your story is. Here's, write down this phrase. Just write down, divorce your story and marry the truth. Divorce your story of limitation and marry the truth of your true capability. If you come up with a new story, you'll have a new life. And what you have to become aware of in your business is people have stories. And if you can learn how to short circuit those stories and bring truth to that person, you can blow open any limitation you have. So how many can see that often the strategy might be in front of you, but you can't see it because your story keeps you from seeing it? How many see what I'm talking about here? Say I. And then the last one, the third key to a breakthrough, is if you have a strategy, that's nice. But you need a story that empowers you, a belief structure that's going to get you to follow through. But the most important way, like if someone comes to you and goes, well, you have a limiting story, people aren't going to listen to that. The most important one of the three elements that creates a breakthrough is state, the thing I started with. Because your emotional state will affect your story. I'll give you a perfect example. Have you ever been pissed off at somebody and then suddenly you can remember everything they've ever done that's ever pissed you off in your life? Who knows what I'm talking about here? Or better yet, who here can remember a time when you were head over heels in love? Raise your hand if you can remember a time head over heels in love. Great. Make the sound that you make a sound of being head over heels in love. Just make it out loud. Make a sound. Wow, that was pathetic. That was really bad. Some of you, it's been a long time, clearly. Let's try it again. Make the sound of what it's like when you're head over heels in love and lust. Make the sound. Go. By the way, when you're in love with somebody, what will you do for them? What will you do? What will you do? If they say, will you take out the trash? What do you take out the trash? What else would you like? Right? But after 7 days, 7 weeks, 7 months, 7 years, maybe 70 years, somewhere in that range, they say, could you take out the trash? You go, what do I look like, your janitor? You go, I don't know what it is. We used to have so much passion. Why did it disappear? I'll give you a clue. If you do what you did in the beginning of the relationship, at the end of the relationship, there won't be an end. I'm going to say it again. In the beginning of the relationship, what would you do? Your whole focus was what? Was it how do I get something from them? What was it? How do I give? How do I light them up? How to make them feel more joyous, more happy? If you did what you did in the beginning, at the end, there won't be an end. So state is the most important element of all. If you leave this night with nothing else and say, how am I going to grow my business? The most powerful way you can grow your business is decide that you're going to live in a beautiful state of mind every day, no matter what, even when it doesn't go your way. See, if you take this on, what I'm telling you right now, it'll change your life more than anything else, and it'll change your business. If you would have asked me a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, like, what does everybody want? How many of you in this room want to change your business, take it to another level? How many came because that's a big piece for you? Make more money, grow your business. Say I. Okay, most people. How many of you came here because you want to have more energy, more vitality, more strength? You want to transform yourself emotionally or physically? How many got those on your list? Say I. How many of you want to create a passionate relationship or reignite one? So who's got that on your list? Say I. You greedy bastards, you wanted everything and you gave me 3 hours. What were you thinking? But here's what I can tell you. Everything you say you want could be chunked up to one thing. Tell me if I'm wrong. How many of you in this room, no matter how great your life is, you want an even greater quality of life than you have today? Say I. So what is a greater quality of life? I would suggest to you it's life on your terms. Some people's idea of an extraordinary life is 3 beautiful children. Some people's idea of an extraordinary life is writing poetry. Some people's idea of an extraordinary life is a garden. Some people's life of extraordinary life is a multi-billion-dollar business. Everyone has a different idea of what will light them up. And if you can figure out what that is, then you need 2 skills to master to get there. Let me give them to you real quick and I'll wrap up with this invitation to you. Number 1 skill for having life on your terms, extraordinary life, is you must master the science of achievement. The science of achievement. And when I say science of achievement, notice I said it's a science. So, I just spent 5 years, as I told you, interviewed 50 billionaires, all how they did it, how they invested, what they did. And what I learned from them has made me tens of millions of dollars in just the last few years alone, $100 million, $200 million in one transaction alone by what I learned from them. Because I didn't learn from the average person. I went to the best that exists on the place of the planet and said, how do I take that person? How do I learn from that person? How do I figure out the strategy that that person has that can take me to the next level? So it's a science. It doesn't matter your color of your skin. It doesn't matter your gender. It doesn't matter your age. There are certain rules of finance. If you apply them, you will have financial abundance. If you avoid them or if you ignore them, you will have financial pressure and pain. How many follow? Say I. There are rules. There's rules of the body, right? We're all biochemically different, but are there some universal rules that if you violate them, you're going to have dis-ease in your body. You're going to have low energy. Is it true? And there are other ones, if you align with them, you're going to have a maximum level of energy. And to me, energy is life, right? So it's a science. Now, I'm not going to try and cover this because I'm out of time, but the best way to speed up your science of achievement is do what you're doing here. Model someone who's already getting the result you want. Find someone who's already doing it, figure out what they're doing, save the time. And pretty much everything you've ever achieved in your life, you went through 3 steps. Number 1, you became obsessed. Think of something that's in your life today that once was a dream or a goal that seemed difficult or impossible. How many of you have something in your life today, a person, a relationship, a car, a career, a business, that once it seemed that would not happen, it once seemed difficult or impossible? How many got something like that in your life? Say I. Then the best way to achieve something is model what you've already done. Look at all the things